Hello and welcome to another episode of Get to Know My Network. Today's guest, well, wow, his onboard knowledge just baffles my mind. And so, how do I know today's guest? Well, he used to be my youth pastor from back in the day, and then in recent years, I enjoyed listening to him preach messages at the church. So, let's meet today's legendary guest, Howard Fisher. So Howard, firstly, thank you so much for letting us come here and do this interview. And we're going to get straight into it. So what is it that you do?
I always find that a difficult question to answer because is it just my career? Or is it what I do for money? Or is it what I do for the passions I have in life? And so I'm the financial director of our business. And we're not a huge business, we're sort of a small, medium enterprise. 100 million a year at the moment, but I think we got the capacity to probably do 10 times that amount. I'm the financial director, and then I'm also responsible for procuring new work, and that's in property development. So I've got to go around, scout properties, come back, do a feasibility on it, decide whether it's going to work or not, and if the numbers stack up, I then have to convince my board to chuck their money at this thing in the hope that it's going to work. And so it's like a fisherman. It's soul destroying sometimes and delightful at other times because, a fisherman, in my office I've got a painting of fishermen going out early in the morning and setting off. They've got the right bait, they've got the fuel, they've got the right equipment, but they don't determine whether the fish is going to get in the nets or not. So you can go out and spend months and come home with very little reward. But you can go out one day and it turns everything around, and I think property development's like that, where I do all the running around, I do all the right stuff, all at the right time in the right places, and I have got no control over whether or not I'm actually going to get the success that I'm looking for, And so my job takes me through emotional highs and lows, but it's enjoyable. I think ultimately I see a need in South Africa for housing, and I want to change the landscape. I want to get rid of crossroads and Kailucha. And I want to get rid of these little houses that people have. I want to see kids being able to play in areas that are safe for them. I want to see people living in homes that they can hand over to the next generation, raise up families. And so, yeah. But that's what I do. I crunch numbers.
You crunch numbers. Yeah. I get the impression that you're doing what you love, and through it, you're getting fulfillment, right?
I think that's good. I do get fulfillment out of it. I'm always fascinated by the fact that the job that you do can take you through this emotional roller coaster. There are days when it just seems like everything's right, and then there are days when it just seems like nothing is going to go right. I recall working on a deal for 3 years with Walmart and Massmart in South Africa, and we had done everything. We'd found the right land, we had gotten the right professionals on board, we had costed it perfectly, and everyone along the line of the Massmart leadership team had said yes. There was one final tick that they needed, and I was told that the international people only look over their shoulders and rubber stamp what they agreed to. So we'd opened the champagne and we'd had the canapes and had all the good stuff. And it was a really lucrative transaction. And I got a phone call where the guy just said, we've just come up with a meeting. The international regional committee said we should not do this deal. Voted 7-5 against you. And this is after 3 years of work and a whole lot of time and money and dreams. And you know what we like is that we take, if this idea works, it's like the first domino in a whole series. If that works, it opens up all the doors for everything else, and when that collapsed, it's not easy.
How does one pick themselves up from a situation like that when they've planned for months, or some people, depending on what it is, when they planned it, they follow the path, and then for it, it's like ripping a carpet out from underneath you. How do you pick yourself up? How do you pick yourself up?
So, I think you never expect the level of failure or that level of disappointment in business. I think that for the most part I'm optimistic, and I've become a little more cautiously optimistic. Now I've got two partners as well, and I think the one is a little bit more of a realist, and bordering on seeing all the possible things that could go wrong. So working with them, my challenge wasn't so much how do I pick myself up only. That was a big part, but it was I'm part of a team, and we've got about 150 people working for us on a fixed basis, and so I am aware that my successes or my failures has a direct impact on their livelihoods as well. And so, you sit here and you're thinking about all the possibilities if it goes right for all how they're going to win. And everyone wins. And then suddenly it doesn't go like that. I think my faith helps. I think that you get to a stage, and to be fair, I think your career challenges and your career failures are not as severe as some life failures, and people have lost a lot more. But it does impact you. It has the ability to shake your person. Makes you more resilient. Makes you very resilient. You're a lot more cautious in your next deal. But it wants you. It stays there. Like this thing just doesn't go away. So I don't know if there's a recipe for how you pick yourself up. I came and had a good old cry. But then I washed my face and said, well, next. This was 3 years of work gone, and a lot of money as well, and a lot of the hopes. Because I think that a lot of times and I might have fallen into this mistake or this trap, you can be defined by the success or failure of the work that you do. And so for me, this was gonna be a big balloon head moment, because this is big, and not a lot of guys in the industry were doing this kind of work, and so. I was really I thought this was it. This is gonna change our company and take me into different places. And there was an arrogance that was setting in as well. So suddenly this thing rocks you. My prayer, I think, at the time was, God, I don't understand this. I don't understand why you would even allow something like this to take place now. But you get to a point in life where either the faith that you have will carry you, or you're gonna turn on a God that you might have loved or that you love. Because you're going to blame him, and you say, well, why did you allow this? Now, in my case, and because it's a career move, it was on a smaller scale that challenge comes. And then you've got to have the hope to do it on the next deal again. Then you've got to, I mentioned the fishing analogy earlier. But to put your line down again, you just had this huge thing on the line, and it was right next to the boat. And it's like the big fisherman in the sea. Sharks came and ate it while you had it there. You've got to pick yourself up.
Yeah.
There's no alternative. So I think you just got to get up. That's the part of life. You got to prepare yourself in advance of a battle. I think Seneca said it. He was a Roman general. He said that if you want someone to survive in the heat of battle, you must prepare them before or in advance of the battle. And so having a conversation with people like this, where you understand that the possibility of failure is real, and you've got to put a playbook in place almost, so that it's a canned response. When I get here, if it doesn't go this way, what do I do? It's scenario planning. I never planned it, to be truthful. I didn't think that was ever going to happen, and all the signs were showing we're going to win. And then you've got to get up, because your life's not there. Your life has got, that's one sphere of what your life is. And then you've got all these other things that you do. And so you've still got to come home, and you've got to be a dad and a husband, and you've got to be a friend, and you've still got to go to church, and I teach Bible school, and I've still got to go and teach that God is good. And that he's in control, when all the evidence and everything inside you is screaming to say, well, I think you forgot about me.
But it's okay, you picked yourself up and you started it and you did it again. And now you can say that you've done this.
Yes.
So tell us a bit about this.
So this development that you're looking at now, Rochester Village, It's got 136 units in it. And it happened just after the last one crashed. The guy who introduced this to me told me about this property and I didn't want to see it. I said no, I had no energy to go and have a look at it. I think he persisted. 3 months later, I went to see it. And when I walked onto the property, I knew that this was it. It was like a gem. I didn't know it was possible to find something this time. That same afternoon, I got my partners out there. I had run the numbers. We put in an offer the same afternoon. And then it took the next while to get it signed by the son. Driving up to Malmesbury because one of the trustees of this trust lived up in Malmesbury. We got it done. And then getting it through council, and eventually some bigger developer tried to steal the thing out from under us. And you know, and when you're there, when you're 3 years into a project like you were the previous time, and the energy is high, and suddenly some thief comes along and they're going to steal this project, I was like, not again, not again, and tempted to almost leave my business and leave property development completely and look for a different avenue, because there was just no way that I think I could handle this. But we got some really good lawyers, and we had a big fight. We decided let's just fight this one out. And I think there comes times when you got to put the property fences in for the dreams and the goals you've got, because not everyone is just going to support you. I mean, we see it in history. Martin Luther King had opponents despite his phenomenal life philosophy. So even the good that you want to do, people oppose. And in this instance, we fought for this, and now it's being launched, and it's going to be fantastic.
I'm excited for you.
Yeah, yeah. The thing about my job is that now that it's going, I've got that's it. It's in someone else's hands now. The fish is on board. It's not my job to clean it and sell it and do it. Mine's just to go out and catch. So I'm getting ready. I'm looking at new ideas and new avenues and getting out there to make sure that the next 5 years is looked after as well. There were 1 or 2 guys who were really good for me during this time. And I think that there's always someone that has been through a tough time, that if you are willing to be vulnerable about where you are, they might just say that 1 or 2 things that puts a piece of the puzzle together, makes sense for you. And for me, that was Jonathan Renz. Jonathan Renz is a billionaire property developer who lives in Bishop's Court. The most down-to-earth guy. And I told him about the struggle I had with losing the previous deal and trying to find this. And I think, his comments were simple. Just keep doing what you're doing. Just keep doing what you're doing. That sounded a little too casual, but said, just keep doing what you're doing. And one day, you're going to walk into the right room with the right people around the table, and you're going to have the right preparation. Sure. And everything will just fall into place. He said that's what happened to him. And he went from being just a property developer to a billionaire in the space of a year, I think it was.
Sure.
Yeah, so I think it's always great to seek out people who might have walked a similar road. The pain is there. You're not going to get to the top or to a place where you're successful or significant without ever having struggled.
No, that's true. If not a financial struggle, it's an emotional struggle. I think that, and I've told you the story before, 2015, October 2015, I'll never forget that day. So I think that was the time I made myself vulnerable and explained my story to you and where I was at. And you didn't just give me answers. What I left that day with was, you told me what questions to ask myself. And I think at that point I needed to get to know myself better to figure out the next step. And if it wasn't for that conversation, I would not be sitting here 2 years. 2 years later, I set a goal for myself that day, gave myself the timeline, and 2 years later, I sit here interviewing you about how you helped me. And it's been an amazing 2 years, but not with its own struggles, like you said. ups and downs, emotionally up and down. I mean, again, early in the year, I was literally willing to just drop everything. But when you've got those notes up on your wall reminding you where you said you wanted to be, um, it just it kickstarts. So thank you very much for being that person in my life, for being the John in my life, and yeah, thank you. Speechless. I'm speechless.
Maybe I should say something here that I think, in reflecting on this conversation before we got here, is that you speak to a lot of people. I interact with a lot of people in a lot of different places. But I find that the true learning is never prescriptive. Or conscriptive even. Conscription is where I tell you've got to be a part of this. And I call you up no matter what, and you've got no choice in the matter. Subscription is where you ask for it. And I find that with the people who have benefited the most from conversations that we've had, and from the experiences that I might have had in life, is those who have asked for it. So in your case, I mean, as much as you saying that the conversation helped you, you were ready for it, and you were asking questions that you were seeking for answers that you were going to pursue. Now, I could have this conversation with 10 people, and only one person actually is hungry enough to pursue it. And if you find people who are willing to pursue it, that's when it works. And I think in your case, there's an appetite for success. There's an appetite for wanting to achieve certain things and to arrive at a certain destiny. You've set that goal in place. You answered the why for your life. And then the how is easy. You can endure any how when you've understood the why. I think, so I can say, this is what I did, try this, do that. But if you yourself are not in a place where you're saying, I'm going to try this, I'm going to do this, I'm hungry enough, or I'm going to look at it, there's never going to be any success. And so you're going to, in your life, find a lot of people who are in the same space. And you're going to share these incredible gems of your hurts and heartaches with people, and they're just going to do nothing with it. But even now and then you're going to find one or two people that makes everything else worthwhile.
Yeah.
They just take it, and you're like, I said something that helped. I'm like, okay. Meanwhile, it's all your legwork.
Yeah. Okay, so lastly,
Yeah.
we all work very hard. You work extremely hard. What is it that you do for fun?
Yeah, so maybe I like the philosophy, right, of life, and I had a good stint at Oxford doing some of this stuff. But here's it, is that someone says everyone needs a third space. At work, you have serious stress, and the stress will kill you. At home, you have stresses that will also kill you because you do stress. Because you carry them in your heart, and it's real. But they speak about a third space, and they say everyone needs a space where they can go and they take on a lighter stress. A stress that puts serotonin into your system. And your serotonin levels, if they're depleted, that's where depression sets in. And so, for me, I play some golf. I haven't for a while because of circumstances and work, and you put it off. I play chess though, and I play league chess. This year I had a good season. I think I played 9 matches in the Premier League, and I only lost 1.
Well done.
Yeah, which is really good. I loved it.
Your comeback.
Yeah, my comeback is I haven't played for years, and so chess, and I enjoy cooking and fishing a little. So got quite a range of it, But there are different things at different times that's gonna refresh you, and so I find that camping and being on the beach and fishing or crayfishing is probably my most serene and real moment. And then I preach at church. I love it. I don't think I'm ever more alive with God than when I'm preparing a message.
Wow.
The stuff that I learn and the stuff that I see, I just find that there's a higher power that's so generous. The way God interacts with us is just so personal and intimate that He'll show me stuff for me first before even having to have some sort of message. I think that if I did speak, it needs to be out of the overflow of my own life. You know, if I failed, I want to say that I failed. And if I've succeeded, I want to say I succeeded. And if it was difficult, I want to say that. I think that there's an authenticity that I'm looking for in that, and God is like anything else. But those are the things that I do. I cook a little.
So out of all those things, I think I will be giving chess a shot. So you're going to teach me some things. I'm bad with the board planning, eh?
Oh, is it?
I'm bad. I can't think like 10 things, no. But let's see what happens. Cut.